Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. You know what? This is one of my November, my nonstop November videos. Um, this is for day number 11. I was just thinking about some movies that I actually saw. There are old movies that were just ridiculous movies, but I liked them, and they kind of made a mark with me. Um, and I just remember them. And some were like, and they're just ridiculous. Just tell me if you've actually seen or heard of these movies, and if not, you could go take a look at them. But it's just ridiculous movies, and I don't know why this came to me, but I just felt like talking about it. So the first movie that I'm actually thinking of, it actually was a movie that was done back in 1995 called The Granny, and it actually was starring Stella Stevens. It was kind of like the last of those movies. Remember when they were making the movies that were like they were kind of spoofs. They were horror movies, but they had that whole comic thing to them, and that's what this movie was. It was, I think, one of the last ones I seen. There was, because there was like not Night of the Living Dead, but the Return of the Living Dead, and it was that whole spoof thing. They were like making the Night of the Living Dead funny, where the that's one of them too. Night of the Return of the Living Dead, they were literally running around screaming brains, brains, brains. Well, you remember in regular zombie movies, they don't talk. Zombies don't talk. But these ones would be hollering brains, 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 and they were just ridiculous. But it was that kind of movie. The granny basically was, the grandmother was just nasty. She was a nasty old bitch. And everybody in the family basically hated her, and they were waiting for her to die to get her fortune. Well, she had ended up, it was something about a serum or something that she took or something, and something where she died, and it brought her to life, back to life, and she was just evil and hateful. And it was just so damn funny. I mean, there was all kind of shit that was going on. She hated the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law couldn't wait to get her furs, so she ran up in the room. When she died, she had a whole fur closet. Y'all, she had every kind of fur you could think of. The furs came to life and fucked the bitch up. It was just stupid, but it was just so funny. Like, I watched the movie like 5 or 6 times. She had a grandson that loved wrestling, and she loved wrestling, and they would always argue because he'd be like, wrestling is fake, and she's like, no, it's not. It's not fake. This, that, and the other. Well, when she died and came back, when her and the grandson got to go and had a baby, and the funny part was when he told her. They were doing like these wrestling moves. They were fighting. He's like actually fighting his grandmother. And she ran down and he did some kind of flip and bust her back, tore her up, and say, take that, you old bitch. And it was just funny, but she fucked his ass up. But it was just a really stupid movie, but it was funny. And just weird. Just tell me, did you ever hear of the movie, or has anybody ever seen that movie, and did you find it just absolutely, utterly stupid, or did you find humor? I thought it was stupid, and I found humor in it. So that's The Granny, stars Stella Stevens. Yes, Stella Stevens from Harper Valley PTA, which is a movie that I absolutely loved. Um, the next one I'm thinking of, is Who Made the Potato Salad? Now that was in the 90s as well, and it actually starred Jaleel White, who played Urkel, and it was just stupid, and it was a mess. It was a hot, hot mess, and it was like this whole dysfunctional family, and I mean really dysfunctional child. It was the father, the guy that played the father from the Wayans. He was in it, and he was married. He was the grandfather, and then the grandmother was Irma from Martin, and she was always a damn mess. And the two of them were married, and they was just as nasty, honey. They had the Thanksgiving dinner, because the whole thing was based around really this Thanksgiving dinner, and it was just a damn mess. And honey, the grandparents was sneaking off, fucking and carrying on, and it was just a mess. It was one of the movies that was so stupid that it really was funny. Um, just ridiculous. And I don't know why I thought of this today and yesterday, but I just remember back to that movie, and it's called Who Made the Potato Salad. And the one girl was really trying to bring the family all together to really have this good Thanksgiving dinner. And she was not as ghetto as the rest of the family. And honey, you found that birds of a feather really do flock together because she was cool basically through the whole movie. The rest of the family was a damn mess and cutting up. Honey, something happened to Jaleel White and tasted the potato salad and said, who? Toward the end, who made this potato salad? Baby, when I tell you she went off. She had just reached her wits and she cussed everybody out and told Jaleel White, it don't matter who made the potato salad, just fuck her, dude. It was one of them movies, real stupid, but funny. It was funny. If you've never heard of it and you want a good laugh, go see Who Made the Potato Salad. A hot damn mess. I'm sure you can find it on Netflix. Okay, now here's another one. There's a movie, and there's several of them, and I'm having a hard time. I gotta check Netflix. But this movie is called Twisted, and it was done back in the '90s, the early '90s. It could have actually been done in the '80s, but I seen this movie. This movie was so damn good, and it's called Twisted. Now, I've told you all before, when I write, I'm so drawn to a love triangle. I love writing about love triangles because there's always, it's unlimited where you can go and how messy you can be. And, when I write, I'm pretty messy. So most of my books that are fiction, there is somewhat of a love triangle that goes on in the book. I'm just so drawn to it. But this movie was about a serious love triangle story. And it was like roommates, and one of the roommates was really in love with the other's girlfriend. And then it turned out to be like a whole thing. He turned out to be a stalker, and it was deep. It got really, really deep to the point where people were getting murdered, and it was just deep, and it was really done a lot. The writing of it was really a lot in the vein that I actually write in, and I always wrote like that, even because I started writing when I was actually in high school. I took creative writing, and this movie was just so good to me, and I can't find it. I'm having a hard time finding it. I gotta check Netflix. But you're going to run into some other movies too, because Twisted, the title, for whatever reason, was used a lot. There's a Twisted that's the most popular one, which had Ashley Judd. That's not it. And there's also a movie called Twisted that actually was Christian Slater, which was about a sociopath. That's not it either. And then this movie, there's a movie called Twisted as well. That's about Oliver Twist. It's like a adapted Oliver Twist type of thing. And I think the basis of it is kind of like a gay thing. That's not it either. This movie had a lot of unknown actors. I want to say that it was late '80s, early '90s, but they were unknown actors. But the movie was fantastic. I'm going to keep on trying to find it. I don't know if it, and I'm going to say '80s because I believe it was on VHS. Because we're talking back to Blockbuster days. So maybe eBay. Maybe I'll check eBay. But yeah, have any of you ever heard of this movie, Twisted? That's about this love triangle. Really, really good movie. And I'm wondering if anybody actually ever seen it. Okay, last movie I'm going to talk about, which is absolutely one of the most ridiculous movies ever made. One of the funniest movies that you will ever see. It's called Jackie's Back, and it was done by Robert Townsend. It is full of foolishness. Let me tell you something. And there's tons of stars in this movie. The main character is Jennifer Lewis, so right there, you know it's a fucking mess. Dolly Parton does a cameo. Whoopi Goldberg, Loretta Devine, Isabel Sanford, which was Wheezy from the Jeffersons, and Tim Curry, which was the sweet transvestite from Transylvania from the original Rocky Horror Picture Show. This movie is a mess. The whole movie is about Jennifer Lewis trying to make this comeback, and she is just ridiculous. She was really big back in the day of the blaxploitation film, okay? Child, she's ridiculous. She got a daughter, and she's real grand, just washed up. Absolutely washed up. And Tim Curry's running around doing interviews on people for her to make this comeback. And child, folks didn't like her. She was ridiculous. She was a bitch. She was hot in her time, but she was just a bitch, and nobody really has nothing nice to say about her. It is hilarious. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Some of the shit, she got a damn daughter named Entendre in the movie. It's just ridiculous. You know, uh, Robert Townsend is like the king of dumbass movies. He just used to do shit. It's stuff that you go back and you will laugh and laugh. I've watched this movie, I know, 20 something times, and I just laugh and laugh every time I see it. Have you guys ever heard of it? Jackie's Back. If you've not seen it or heard of it, you have really did a disservice. It is one of the funniest movies that I have ever seen. I'm telling you. Child, Isabel Sanford, in her part of the movie, she knew Jennifer Lewis's character, Jackie, when she was a baby, like a young girl. And she goes back to, she's from her old town of Camelot. She goes back to her, honey, they interviewed Weezy Jefferson. She said, y'all get on out of, what are you talking about? Jackie Washington? She said, y'all get on out of here, honey. You get on off my lawn. She was a mess. She was a nasty little something. She gonna say, get on out of here, all of y'all. Get on away from here. She said, all y'all. And then she bust out and said, y'all know white people smell like wet potato chips. I said, girl, if you don't stop. It was a mess. And she said, she's so nasty. She was a nasty little girl. She said she would cuss and stuff. She said, and then I took, and that's what, because when they was sent, Jennifer Lewis sent them to her house, they were saying, oh, I call her my play mama. She loves me. Honey, when I got there, Isabel had a thing nice to say about her. Told them, honey, she sends me a box of hard candy every year for Christmas with her nasty little self. And she knows that I would rather have a box of soft chocolates. The movie is hilarious. It is just, it's ridiculous. Dolly Parton talks about how she did an infomercial and put perm. She come out with she was the spokesperson for a new relaxer. She done put perm on Dolly Parton's dog and burned the fucking dog up. Told her, oh, it's easy. It's good. You can even eat it and it won't hurt you at all. Child like to burn her damn tongue off. But she fucked up Dolly Parton's dog with the damn perm. I mean, it was a mess. It was just all over the place. Whoopi Goldberg played her sister that could not stand her. Couldn't stand her. Kyla Pratt was in it too. Kyla Pratt played her when she was younger. She was young and had big, big titties. These real big titties. It was just ridiculous. She's like 12 or 13. Her titties was huge. It's funny. Trust me, it is a funny movie. If you've never seen Jackie's Back, you have done yourself a disservice. There are so many little parts in there. I couldn't even go through all of them where it's just, hilarious. She gets into an argument with a man that's deaf. Just a child, a mess, a hot mess. Then she sings this song called Love Goddess, honey. A mess. Eating tacos out of a greasy bag. Just a mess. It is one of the funniest dumb movies that you will ever see. And I promise you, you will laugh from the beginning all the way to the end. And I don't know why I thought about Jackie's, but I have watched that movie, I know, over 20 times. And you definitely can find it on Netflix. Sometimes you'll look up and they'll play it on TBS. It's just hilarious. She got the daughter named Entendre. She got another daughter that can't stand her. I can't think what her name is. But yeah, and the other daughter, which was the oldest daughter, she gonna say, honey, my mother, she provided for me, but she just was never there for me. She said, I had my first wig when I was 3 years old. Charlie showed this picture of her. This baby with this fucked up wig on. I'm telling you, Jackie's Back. If you've never seen it, you've done yourself a disservice. Go and see that movie. I don't know why, guys, but this was just, I'm just talking. I'm just rambling on, but I just thought about these couple of movies and it was sticking out my head. And I said, well, I'm going to go talk to my people and see if any of them have actually seen or heard of these movies. But that's it. I'm done rambling, child. It's nonstop November. Trust me, we're all doing it. We're all talking about all kind of different stuff. Again, go into your search engine and press hashtag nonstop November in there, and you will actually see all of the people who are actually doing Nonstop November. It's all part of my crew of YouTubers that I'm always dealing with. And again, I don't like to go through all the names because there's just too many of them to remember, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not shouting them out. I'll probably do a shout out video one of these days too. I'll try to get it all together. But there's so many. But again, go to your search engine and press in hashtag Nonstop November. Tons of new people. Get out there, get to know them, meet them. They are doing great things on these channels that they're building. I'm really, really proud of all of them. And I am having a wonderful time. Doing this Nonstop November, and it's a little hard trying to keep up, but that's okay because I committed to it and I'm going to do it. But again, we will talk and we'll talk and talk. I'm sure I won't fall out of things to talk about because I babble on anyway. So it is what it is. Today I was thinking about ridiculous movies that I just happen to love. So whatever. Anyway, I love talking to you guys. You know how to do it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We will talk. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Bye.